In August of 2018, I sat on a chair listening to Terry Beatley tell the story of Bernard Nathanson. Little did I know that in that short time, the course of my life would be changed forever. But let's back up a bit. Who am I? What's my story? And what right do I have to speak about abortion? My name is Maya Abraham, and I'm a 17-year-old teen from Houston, Texas. I'm sad I can't be here in person with you today, but such is life now. But regardless, I am so happy to be given the chance to share my testimony with you today. To be honest, I don't have the craziest or most inspiring story out there, but that's not to say that my story doesn't matter. Because without every little heartbreak, joy, and pain in my life, I would not be who I am today. My pro-life story begins in the womb because that's where every story begins, at the moment of conception. It continues on to living out my vocation as a sister, being the second oldest of 9 children, daughter and friend, learning to walk on this earth while promoting the joy and dignity of life in every aspect of life. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't succeed in doing this in every moment of my life, but I can tell you I tried and I try, and that's what makes a story a legacy. I truly believe that is the most integral thing to being pro-life. It's about promoting the joy and dignity of life in every aspect of life. That, I believe, is the biggest influence in my pro-life journey. It was a community around me that was constantly showing me what it was to live a great life. I think that's why in August of 2018, I was so shocked when I was sitting at the back of Terry Beatley's talk on Bernard Nathanson to learn of the injustice being done on the dignity of the human being. But not just the being, the body. I was not ignorant to the reality of abortion at this point, especially having spent the previous year in a NICU with my baby sister, who was born 2.5 months in advance, and who, by the way, is a perfectly healthy 4-year-old ruling our household. But I was astonished by the strategies that were being used to directly and intentionally harm the human experience. And that was when I had it. I could sit back no longer. Simply being pro-life but not doing anything about it, I was not going to cut it. But here's the question. What was I to do about it? Having grown up in a homeschooled family who do in fact socialize a lot, by the way, I was surrounded by a community that shared my beliefs as a Catholic pro-lifer. I was more than a bit daunted by the task of trying to change a culture that did not believe what I did, but it had to be done. So I started a pro-life YouTube channel. After doing that for a year, I started a pro-life club in my area, but it wasn't cutting it. I was busy doing other things. I was tired. I felt no one cared, and I was this close to giving up. The pro-life movement was just not a priority enough to me. And why was that? It was because I was scared. I was afraid. You see, the world had told me that you can't be successful and be pro-life. You have to be successful, and then maybe you can be pro-life. And what did I do? Well, I believed it. So while I was definitely pro-life, I didn't let it take priority to me. And why was that? It was because I undervalued the dignity of the human person. Let's be very clear on something. Being pro-life is not just about abortion. Yes, abortion's a huge part of it, but that's not it. Why do I care about abortion? Because it is an attack upon our community and the dignity of the human person. That is why, as Catholics, we should be so invested in subjects of theology of the body, because it shows us the true dignity of the human person. To be pro-life is to promote the joy of life in every aspect of life. It is the protection of the dignity of life. Because we are made imago Dei, made in the image and likeness of God, and that is something to be so joyful about, to be excited about. We are called to celebrate the dignity of life, to respect it. But the devil knows that the moment we degrade life by a simple turn of the head is the moment that he begins to win. We have betrayed love, and we cannot keep ignoring it. Euthanasia betrays love. Murder betrays love. Abortion betrays love. That's the reality I could no longer turn my head to. Something I've thought about so much lately as it's my senior year in high school is, what do I want to do? What life do I want to live? And what legacy do I want to leave? What I realized though is at the end of the day, what's gonna matter? It's not gonna be all the money I've made, because that's not gonna save me from death. What's gonna matter is how much love I gave. And not only that, it's gonna be how much love I allowed myself to receive. As made Imago Dei, we are called into relationship with one another, to experience and ultimately be love. It's a selfless giving and a receiving. But abortion, it cuts at the very root of this. Abortion tells the world we don't deserve love. Abortion destroys our ability to love. Abortion isolates. I truly believe that the only reason a woman gets an abortion is because she's too insecure in her relationship with others. Not just her significant others, but those around her that are supposed to be her community, supposed to be her support. And she goes and she gets that abortion. But you know what the world tells her? They tell her, you can't feel bad about that abortion, but it's a glorious thing. And the people surrounding the abortion are so ashamed that they isolate themselves even more. And the only revival that is going to happen is when people can understand one another, that we can understand that we're all imperfect, that we're all struggling too, we're all in this together. C.S. Lewis says, to love at all is to be vulnerable. And it's that moment that we can come together in our vulnerability and fight for this revival of life. To celebrate the joy of life together is the moment that we can overcome shame and bring revival to our world again. So as I'm making this decision as what do I want to do with my life, I realize that the question is, what area of my life can I love people the most? And ultimately, it's in the pro-life movement. Because I don't think our world can move forward without doing something in the pro-life movement. Being in the pro-life movement doesn't mean that you have to go do all these crazy, extravagant, explicitly pro-life things. Being pro-life is about promoting the dignity of life in every aspect of life, no matter what your day job may be. It's about not being afraid in everything that you do to stand up for the most innocent among us. And let me tell you, men out there is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man that fights for her and fights for children. No matter what feminists say about abortion, about our dependency, we depend on you. And what I've realized is I want to give people an opportunity to be in the pro-life movement. No matter who you are, what age you are, whether you're male, whether you're female, the only way we can get past this isolation and shame that the devil has attacked us with is to come together, no matter how hard it may be. That's what I found my mission to be the glue in the pro-life movement, to connect us all no matter what our story may be, to invite everyone back to the party. Anyone can be pro-life, and especially inviting people who have experienced abortion back to our party, back to the pro-life movement. Because that's what it is to bring love back to the picture. And I'm gonna say this quote again, because Terry Beatley spoke it in her speech in August of 2018, and it's what got me to my feet. When Bernard Nathanson said, "Tell America that America's abortion king said to love one another. Abortion is not love. Stop the killing. The world needs more love, and I'm all about love now. Nothing rings more true. Nothing. Our world needs so much more love. And if the abortion king can overcome shame and isolation, what's stopping us? That's what makes his story a legacy, and that is what will make our stories legacies. We are called to live a legacy of love, to overcome shame and fear, because at the end of the day, none of that will matter. We are called to be not afraid. Pope John Paul II calls us to live legacies of love through the theology of the body, to celebrate what it means to be human. And when a culture understands the dignity of the human person, abortion would not only be illegal, but unthinkable. So what right do I have to speak about abortion? As Maida Mahagodei, it's not just my right, it's my duty to fight for life, to get me and as many people as I can to heaven with me. My journey in the pro-life movement is to stand up for a deeper understanding of love. The deep longing of the human heart is for connection, for love. The moment we embrace community and cultivate leaders is the moment we beat the devil and bring love back into this world. The pro-life movement is not just you and me. The pro-life movement is the protection of the dignity of life, what it means to live a great life, and as such, it is the protection of all that is good, all that is of God. When we go out, we're not just the person protecting human rights. We're Christ for that person. Because our end goal is to get as many people to Him, to Christ. That's what it means to be pro-life. When I realized my mission in the pro-life movement, I began an international organization called GreatLife Teens. And honestly, it is such a joyful organization to be a part of. If you want to learn more about us, look us up at greatlifeteens.org. You see, when I was about to give up on my YouTube channel and my first pro-life endeavors, the 2020 US election hit. And I watched millions of people around the world take action on something they cared about. No, it wasn't all for pro-life issues, but it told me you provide people with one courageous person, one leader. They will step up for the injustice done against them and those around them. As Brene Brown says, courage is contagious, and I will tell you nothing could be more true. I don't know what you're called to do, but I can tell you what I'm called to do. To be that one courageous person, to be a leader and stand up for the injustice being done on human life. Our goal over at GreatLife is to bring joy back to the pro-life movement. Yeah, it's not good that we're fighting against the intentional harming of the human body, but at the same time, we as pro-lifers get to celebrate human life at every second of every day, and how cool is that? Who would not want that? Being pro-life does not have to be hard or boring, though it may have its downtimes. Being pro-life is exciting because we are fighting for love, and we all know that the world needs more of it. And well, honestly, we're all about love now.